Hey, welcome back to Plain Simple Projects. Working on an old Honda lawnmower. Alright, real quick before we do the install on this carburetor on this old HRM 215. So we have the old carburetor out. I was showing you that before on the time-lapse video. You can see kind of how bad it is inside. So these things really can deteriorate. I used some carburetor cleaner and it did help, but there's just so much. It's just tough to replace that. The bigger problem though is the fact that the orifices inside of this that pull up this fuel from the bowl. So as it creates a venturi, as air passes through this carburetor, there's a little, we'll see inside there right there, a little bronze or gold looking little nozzle that sticks up. Anyway, it creates a venturi and it draws up fuel into the airflow. And basically it creates an air fuel mixture that we combust in the cylinder. Pretty cool how that works. See the butterfly valves here where we basically control the throttle. And this one's got two of them. I actually don't know what both of them are for. I know this one's for the actual choke. So I imagine they both control the airflow. So anyway, as the air increases in speed, it pulls fuel from this orifice in the middle there, that brown thing in the middle, and that pulls it out of these orifices at the bottom. But you can see it's pretty corroded, and even with all the carburetor cleaner I used last time, it's just really hard to get that stuff cleaned out in there. And so it's beyond my scope, but I was able to order another one for about $15. It included another fuel line, another spark plug, and a new air filter for it. You see it here, new air filter, we'll use that. Some more gaskets, which is good, and then the new carburetor. So here it is, I'll show you what that looks like. See what it looks like. So you've got the two holes at the bottom of the carburetor. This one right here is used to drain the fuel, turns out. This at the bottom one bolt is actually what connects this bowl to the carburetor unit itself. So you can kind of see how this one's a little bit different, but it's supposed to be for the same model number, or at least the same lawnmower. And it's got this this switch here. See that? That's new. I don't have that on the old one. It allows me to basically turn on or off the fuel flow, which is actually kind of nice. The other one, there was no switch for that. It was simply, you had fuel. If you were pulling, you always had fuel. If you were pulling any sort of airflow through there. So anyway, you can see it's got the two butterfly valves on this one. It's got the nozzle on the inside there, right above my thumb, that pulls the fuel from this bulb. Pretty cool. So we're gonna mount that on. You can see that I went ahead and I've got a new blade coming, but you can see I went ahead and loosened these bolts that allowed the carburetor to slide off through this passage here. Otherwise it would have been too tight. So I got to let the motor fall this way, which allows me to pull that carburetor off without having to break something, and just basically detach the different control cables, and we got a fuel line right there. So if I'm lucky, I can get this reattached without having to put a new fuel line on or draining the fuel tank. I do have a little bit of fuel in there, and I'd like not to have to do that. It's kind of a mess to do that. So anyway, we'll put it back on time lapse and kind of watch as I replace the carburetor.